What's going on, everyone? So the first day of free agency so far has been kind of mid, right? Nothing really major has happened, in particular with the Lakers. The Lakers did re-sign Max Christie, got that out the way, which is good. And it's better to get it done now before somebody maybe comes in and gives him more money, and now you either got to lose him or match it, right? Just kind of get it done, wash your hands with that. Now you can move on and focus on the next thing. Nothing's probably happening with the Lakers until Klay Thompson decides what he wants to do. More likely than not, he's going to be the first domino to fall. Could the Lakers maybe make like some minor moves? It's possible, right? Could they maybe like do a trade to kind of clear some roster spots and some salary? Like, sure, that's always a possibility. But I don't expect the kind of ramp up of the Lakers roster until kind of Klay Thompson and some of these other players decide what they're going to do. Also you're seeing pretty much no teams making any significant moves because everyone's kind of waiting around for what's PG going to do? What's Klay going to do? What's, DeMar going to do? You're seeing like Clippers re-signing James Harden and stuff. There have been a couple moves that are kind of significant in a good way for the Lakers and I really wanted that guy. KCP signed with the Orlando Magic. That's huge for the Lakers, right? Because Denver now loses KCP, and they might actually be trying to trade for Westbrook in place of KCP, which I think is rather interesting. But good thing is that, again, Denver's a team that's had our number, and we have had our struggles beating, and KCP's been a big part of that. So them getting weaker just is an advantage for the Lakers. Also, the Clippers signed Kevin Porter Jr., who that's a guy I've thrown out there several times as a guy that you take a flyer on. He was a 19-point-a-game scorer, but he's off the books. And Andre Drummond signed with the Philadelphia 76ers, which, again, that's a center that would have been cheap. He signed for $5 million a year. Basically the taxpayer mid-level would have been the price, it looks like. So I wanted him more on a minimum. There's some guys that are being released, like Chris Paul got waived finally. So I think he's probably a guy that could potentially come to Lakers, especially because the Lakers, if they end up trading D'Lo, they may be in the market for a point guard. They might need a point guard. And so Chris Paul could potentially be that guy come in. I don't know if I'd want to start him, but let's say you're moving Gabe Vincent to the starting role with Chris Paul backing it up, right? Depending on what the rest of the roster shapes up to be. We'll see how that works. But couple names that the Lakers are linked to as far as the trade front goes, and then some updates with Klay Thompson that I think are pretty important. I'll dive into the Klay Thompson part because it's quick. So it's been confirmed that Klay is leaving the Golden State Warriors. There's several teams that he's going to have conversations with. I imagine that the process takes, a day or so. It would be nice if we got our answer tomorrow, one way or the other, but I imagine, he's going to talk to each of these teams and kind of get the best selling point. I think he's still a very big chance to come to the Lakers. However, the Warriors and him are looking for a sign and trade, not him necessarily signing for the mid-level exception. There are reports that say that he is interested in taking a discount and signing the MLE if to go to the Lakers, or also the Clippers were linked in that report. I don't really see the Clippers signing him, but the Lakers, definitely, if that's the ideal scenario, right? Because you could sign Klay with the MLE, and then you can go and pull off trades to go get other pieces, rather than having to use your pieces to go get Klay, right? Now, if, say, DeMar DeRozan wants to come for the mid-level exception, and you go in and sign in and trade for Klay, then, I guess cool, but, or you're signing Valanciunas, right? So maybe you're bringing Valanciunas and you're getting Klay, but is that enough to really raise the ceiling? To me, it's I think we'd definitely be better, but to me, in a perfect scenario, you're signing Klay with the MLE, and then you're working out trades to go get other pieces, right? I don't like the idea of trading for Klay as much as I do signing him outright, right? Because I just think there's maybe even better options that you can get via sign and trade, or, just trade market period, right? And that's where we can kind of transition to the names that are linked to the Lakers. So the Lakers are linked to Jeremy Grant. Based on reports, the Portland Trail Blazers and the Los Angeles Lakers have discussed trades for Jeremy Grant. So far, nothing has happened yet, but they're having those conversations. And then also they are linked to Brook Lopez as another option that may end up kind of being an interesting trade. He also would be an expiring contract, so could be a move that you make to also clear off some money off your books for next year, right? Especially if you end up landing a significant piece that you may need to re-sign or something, and kind of keep long term. That's always a possibility. I like the idea of Jeremy Grant, but again, like if you have to trade for Klay, then it makes it so much harder to go get Grant. Like you still technically could, right? Depending on what Klay's contract is. But to me, it's like, okay, if Klay signs for the mid-level exception, you go trade for Jeremy Grant, and then now maybe you can make another small minor trade or something, or even you have the free agency market, get a piece or two, and now we're off to the races. Right? Like now it's like, okay, now you got your 3 and Ds. Klay's not who he used to be in that regard, but you got a guy that still can be serviceable on the defensive side, but knock down the 3 ball. You got your big wing that can defend multiple positions, go get you a bucket. You got, probably Austin Reeves at that point with LeBron and AD, bringing Chris Paul off the bench with Max Christie. You got Connect. Right? You got Christian Wood. Try to go get a center. What center can that be? Right? Now you start piecing together and looking at like the roster. Jared Vanderbilt, hopefully you're keeping. And it's like, okay, well now we actually have a team. Now we have a squad. Like, let's go. Now you actually have the pieces to contend and compete, right, with the rest of the league. That's kind of the idea. That's kind of the approach. As far as Brook Lopez goes, start there. I prefer them not to make that trade. I know people like the idea of the defense and, him playing alongside AD and plus his ability to stretch the floor, and with JJ Redick, Brook Lopez makes sense. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't hate if the Lakers went and traded for Brook Lopez, but Brook Lopez isn't making $12 million like he probably should be. He's making, I think his contract's like $23 million. Right? So you have to trade multiple pieces to go get him. Yes, he is an expiring deal, but to me, it's like, can you trade for a better piece that's helping you more long term? Right? Can you go trade for a piece that makes more sense long term? I would like the Lakers just to kind of forget everything and just go get Miles Bridges. Right? Go sign and trade for Miles Bridges. Right? He's, in my opinion, just as good as Jeremy Grant, but younger. Right? I mean, especially with the season he had last year. And so you get a guy that's 26 years old, that sizable forward that could play both spots. And then if Klay wants to come for the MLE, you sign Klay for the MLE. If he doesn't, then go after DeMar DeRozan. Go get DeMar. Right? Give me something like, I'd still prefer Reeves not to be the point. In a perfect world, you like maybe move Gabe Vincent or something like that in the starting unit and have Reeves come off the bench. You go like Gabe Vincent with, DeMar DeRozan or Klay either, or Miles Bridges, LeBron and AD, or you could even move like Max Christie in. And if you get DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar DeRozan, he's basically been an initiator everywhere he's gone to an extent, right? Like San Antonio ran him as their point guard at times for like numerous stretches and like entire games at times, right? So especially if the Lakers want to run this free-flowing offense, I worry about Reeves because he doesn't handle ball pressure well, right? Like there was a lot of concerns that Reeves had and can kind of get tunnel vision, right? Can he control himself enough and not turn the ball over heavily, something like that, right? If you're like running this free-flowing offense and you just basically need an initiator, I mean, you could decide like somebody like DeMar at the point, right? Have him at the point, go like Max Christie at the 2, Miles Bridges at 3, LeBron at the 4, AD at the 5, and let's go, let's cook, right? Now you got real defense between Anthony Davis, Miles Bridges, and Max Christie. Max Christie shooting 40% from 3 on catch and shoot threes, so you got a real threat. Go bring in like a Chris Paul, and now you have your backup point guard, right? Like I just think that there's better options than like a Brook Lopez, personally. And then, go work it out. Can you get Valanciunas on the cheap, or, can you get another serviceable center? Like I said, you just need somebody serviceable that can come off the bench and provide quality minutes. And then Jeremy Grant, like, I like Jeremy Grant, sure. Like, I wouldn't be against it. I think he's overpaid, but that's probably why the Lakers would be realistically able to get him and not have to sell the farm to go get him, right? So, to me, it's like Jeremy Grant, if you could get him, like, sure, but a couple things. One, Lakers tried to trade for him before in Detroit, and he did not want to come. He didn't want to play alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He didn't want to be the third fiddle, right? Like, that's why the Lakers stopped trading for him. He had his chance to be a Laker before and decided, nah, I don't want to do that, right? So to me, it's like, what's changed, right? I mean, you could argue he's older now, and, you know, I mean, this was like 4 years ago or something. This was a long time ago. I mean, he was on Detroit when this happened. So, and he's played for a couple teams since then. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe he's kind of matured and just gone like, hey, you know, I want to contend. But he's also talked about heavily how he's happy in Portland. And, you know, not everyone wants to win a championship. Not everyone wants to, you know, go and play a third fiddle. Some guys want to take, I mean, he hasn't made in Portland. He's getting an absolute bag, and he gets to take 20 shots a game and do whatever he wants. Right? Like, he's kind of the guy there, right? So, like, he gets to get paid and just live his best life. Where if he went to a team like the Lakers, it's serious now, right? Like, and there's questions about, like, Jeremy Grant's motor and, like, his commitment to winning and stuff. Like, so he's not my favorite option, but it's kind of like, what else is there, right? Like, if you could get him, fine. The Lakers are also, like, there's murmurs going around that the Lakers are kind of keeping tabs on Trae Young and Zach LaVine. That Zach LaVine, the Chicago Bulls are trying to shop him and attach a first. If you get a first in that deal, I think you could do worse, right? Like, I'd still want to, like, work it out to get your MLE and all that stuff. But, like, you know, if you could get, say, Klay and then go get Zach LaVine, right? It sounds pretty good to me, but maybe I'll dedicate a video to that independently so I can kind of dive into it more without this being like a 30-minute video. But anyway, just kind of wanted to provide some updates around the league. Like I said, it's been kind of quiet, right? It's all quiet on the Western Front right now. So, but anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? How do you feel about the kind of slowness right now? What do you think about the Lakers and the moves? Like I said, they're probably not doing anything until Klay ends up, you know, signing or not signing, right? So, but again, love to hear thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.